Needs to be a little bit more. Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you again. It felt so strange being away. Monday feels like an eternity since since last time. But it was only last Thursday, so it's not really that long. I apologize for Monday. It was just a little bit too much. Sometimes there's too much stuff going on, and then I just felt like, no, I need to have a break. So unfortunately, no meditation Monday, even though usually it does give me more energy. I'm just very tired, and I feel it now also, but I have that nice feeling of sitting down. Oh, it's going to be nice to sit and chat with everyone and just have a calm evening. Let's see if I can fix this. Let's see. I think that's correct. Yeah. Hey, Mats, nice to see you. Nicole. Yes, I'm feeling better today. It's been overwhelming. It's just been so much stuff happening at the same time, and so many things to adjust to. And as you know, I have been burned out before, and the problem with burnout is that the body stops being able to really break down cortisol. So even if you're feeling calm and it's like not a lot of stress, the problem is that afterwards the cortisol just stays in the body. So it does stay there forever, but it just takes a very long time for the body to break it down. So the after effects get really difficult, and that's what, like, then it gets difficult to sleep because it's almost like it's crawling in your skin, and so you have to just really, really calm down. And for people on the outside, it looks very strange. It's like, why are you doing that? Like, why? You seem perfectly calm. Why do you need to take it so calm? And that really is because if it gets too much and you have had a burnout, you really need to be careful about what you subject yourself to. And I think that's a thing for everyone, actually. Mats, I think I won't be able to meditate today since I'm just way too tired and already fell asleep. Hopefully I'll make it on Monday. Have a good day. Oh, sorry to hear that, Mats. Yeah, sometimes it's better to sleep. You go to sleep, and I'll see you on Monday. Take care, by the way, and I hope you're doing well. JV, this is the first time I think I've seen you wear a shirt with printed lettering. It looks like you're being sponsored by someone. I am sponsored by, what is this? Superior Leather, maybe? Jeans, I don't know. Yeah, they paid me. Actually, I had to pay to be sponsored by them. It's a crappy company. I'm never going to use them again. It's really bad. You're right. I forgot about that. I normally don't. I forgot today. One of the things I have been doing, though, that I really have been thinking about is that I've been finally starting on the course. I did do all those interviews, if you remember, last year, where I talked to quite a few of you, about a meditation course, and that's something that's been brewing in the back of my mind. And now, since my work situation will be changing next year, I'm thinking like, okay, I really want to create this. So I have been thinking more about what to create and what angle I want to give it. I want it to be something different, something that's not just another meditation course, but actually something that's very useful for people and that will give them a clear purpose with doing it. So the thing that I came up with, that why would I want to do this? Because there's many angles that I can take, and the one that I will be making now at least will be how to establish the problem for most people, and I'm sure you recognize this, is that when you start meditating, you just don't really know exactly what to expect and what to do, and you soon run into either I don't have enough time, I'm not feeling anything, or I'm feeling too much, or I run into some kind of obstacles. I have these thoughts, and you have expectations of what's supposed to happen. And I see so many people who stop then because they run into something that they feel is wrong, and many times it's not. It's actually perfectly normal. It's just that no one tells them that it's normal. So the course will be focused on how to go from not being able to stick with a practice, not being able to create a method for yourself that you can use continuously, and not in the sense that, you do this super special technique that will give you mind-blowing experiences, and then then you kind of go away with that, because experiences are fun and cool, but they don't mean much. Instead, how do you establish a practice that you can keep with you for the rest of your life? Doesn't mean you need to continue with that practice, but it will give you enough knowledge so that you know like 99% of the stuff, or 90% of the stuff that most people run into, or 99 maybe, I don't know, like most of the things that people run into in the beginning will be in there, so that you don't stop because that happens, and also how to make it easier, because I love behavioral psychology, and let's see, meditate for happiness, absolutely, yeah, that's the whole idea. Your suggested course, and yeah, so the problem also is that we need to make it easy for us to meditate, and also, like Nicole says, what's the outcome? What do you actually want from your meditation? People have these weird expectations and ideas of what's supposed to happen. So having that clear from the beginning can really help with making it easier to continue. Because if you expect that, oh, I'm going to be enlightened and I'm going to talk to angels, and then that doesn't happen, then you feel like you failed. So that's one part. But the other part that's really important is making it easy for you to keep the practice. And I'll give you an example. I just canceled my Zoom, the Zoom app when you have conversations, because I actually like Discord a lot right now, and Zoom charges a lot of money just to be able to have longer than 45-minute phone calls, and I may as well have them on Discord. So I was going to cancel my Zoom membership. And do you know how to do that? Because I remember last year I thought it was cancelled, but it renewed. Like, oh, okay, well, I can do it one more year, I thought. You can't do it in the app. Instead, in the app, it says your membership, and then you click on a page, and then it takes you to another page where you log in. But it doesn't say on your Zoom app clearly what your login is, meaning your email. So you have to first figure out what that one is, and then you have to find the password, even though you already wrote that in the app. Now they make it so that you have to go out of the app and onto a web page, find your credentials, log in, and then you go in there. And I can tell you, it was like way down in a sub menu, and then you clicked my membership and then cancel, and then it was, as soon as I canceled, they said, do you really want to cancel? Like, yes, I do. Okay, we hate to have you leave. Like, here's 15% discount. Would that make you stay? And I said, no, I'm canceling. And then after that, they asked me one more time, why are you canceling? And you could choose like too expensive. And then I'm sure that they will try to get me back as a member within days, weeks, months, a year, because they know like why I would stop. So from a behavioral psychology standpoint, what they're doing is they're making it very difficult, a lot of friction for me to cancel. So it's easy for me to say, oh, I can't do it now, it's too difficult, I'm just going to skip it. And I won't cancel, and so I continue one more year, and then after a year I might forget to cancel again. The same thing goes for your meditation practice. There are things that you can do to make it easier for you to sit every evening. And there's a lot of things people don't think about, that they just make it unnecessarily complicated for themselves to sit. CJV, if I may ask, please share more about how you got through your recent burnout after you finished talking about Zoom, of course. I don't mean to rush. No problem. Yeah, so instead of, we can use the techniques that companies use to get more money from us to make it easier for us to meditate. One of the examples is that when you sit, you have a place where you can go, and you can have it so that people don't disturb you, because they know that you're going to be meditating when you sit in there. Maybe you hang something on in front of the door. It makes it easier. You don't have to go around telling everyone. Or maybe you have an app, so you say, okay, I'm going to sit, and you message your family, I'm sitting, don't disturb me for the next 15 minutes. You can have having a routine that you understand well and that you know how to use is also one of those things, because if you're constantly sitting down, like, oh, what am I supposed to do? I don't really know like how this technique works, and you start watching YouTube, and then it's too complicated, so you just forget about it. So to create a daily practice, there's a lot of things that I found help people actually develop that, and I've helped a lot of people do this, because it is difficult to do for most people. We come up with all kinds of excuses as to why we shouldn't do that. So the idea for the course is to have something that helps you go from being a little bit all over the place, not able to establish a daily practice, and very likely, if you want to practice, you have a mind that is kind of a little bit over the place, or you're having problems with anxiety or distortion in general, to a place where you have a daily practice that is not meant to blow your mind, even though it could, and it probably will eventually, but it's made to be there for the rest of your life. Even if you change the technique, it's something that you can bring with you for the rest of your life as a support system, which segues nicely into what JVB is asking about, how I went through my recent burnout. It was not a full-blown burnout. People use the term burnout very loosely for lots of stuff that is not actually burnout. A burnout is not something you just recuperate from like immediately. Since I've had it before, or wait, I'm assuming you meant what's been happening in the last few days. But an actual burnout is something that really hits you, and if you get bad, like really bad, it is impossible almost to do things. The executive function just stops working, so it can be virtually like climbing a mountain to just open the door to the dishwasher to empty it out. It's just too much anxiety to do that. Everything that has to do with taking some kind of action or doing something just doesn't work. Sounds, stimuli is overwhelming. You can't take all the inputs that is coming to you, and you just get overwhelmed by it and just shut down. Easily irritation. So a real burnout, and I mean like when you actually go to the doctor and say you're burned out, is not just, man, I'm so burned out, I can't handle this anymore, I'm really at my edge. No, if you get burned out, people don't understand how bad it can get and how difficult it can be to get back. So what happened like last week was simply that I had way too much change, too many plans that happened in a matter of minutes, and it overwhelmed me because the stress of all the changes that needed to take place, from rethinking, like, and my mind works very quickly and thinks about things. So as soon as I found out the information, it's like, okay, we're going to get married next year, we need to rethink how we're going to do the wedding. We can't afford what we were planning. Maybe we can. I might find something else. It might work out with where I am now. But just to be sure, we need to limit our exposure. So the mind started thinking about that. We have renovations we want to do on the house. Well, we can't really do that now because it's too much money. So I had to rethink about that. Christmas present, I have to rethink about that. Things we were planning to do, I have to rethink about that. And then the mind had all these things that it needs to figure out. And one of the things with having been burned out is that you can't handle that much. So then the mind just kind of blocks and stops working because it's like, what am I supposed to do? And the stress from that kind of builds up in the arms, like everywhere, and it starts almost like having ants crawling. And then you sleep poorly. At least for me, sleep is always affected. Some people sleep way more than normal and just can't wake up. They're so tired. That's much better than not being able to sleep, trust me. So yeah, that just becomes a difficult thing. And to overcome it, one of the things that is really useful is to have some kind of practice. Like I was saying, like being able to sit down and knowing what to do, not being afraid to sit down and feel like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable. This is nice, not a nice feeling in my body. And sitting down believing that my job is to make that go away. I don't want to feel that, but actually allowing it to come to the degree that you can handle. Don't overwhelm yourself. And it gets too much, open your eyes and start walking, drink something, eat something, just to distract yourself from it. But having that base point that you can touch down on and to find calmness, peacefulness again is very important. Other things that help with coming back from something like that is just to limit stimuli. You need to really cut down on the things you're doing. That's one of the reasons when you get burned out like that. If you try to continue, you're just going to make it worse. And the first time I got burnt out, I had, like I said, it's my neck that kept me awake at night. So I had, for 9 months, I slept between 3 and 5 hours for 9 months. And eventually I had a student who tried to commit suicide and just threw a steel rod on my head and just completely freaked out. And that was not the thing that was that pushed me over, that caused the burnout. That was the thing that pushed it over the edge. the lack of sleep for 9 months was so overwhelming, and it was so difficult for me to stay awake, and having to wake up every single night with just sheer and feeling like I'm running from a lion every night because my body was just tensing up. And it happened when we changed beds. I have since, just a few weeks ago now, I bought the same kind of bed I had before, and I'm hoping that's going to help me. It has helped a little bit so far. So that just pushes you to a point, and I just kept thinking, I'm going to make this. I can work this through, because your mind still functions. It's just that it's not working the way it's supposed to, and you can force yourself through it. My disadvantage, like my doctor said, was that probably your meditation was a disadvantage here, because I could go much further than most people could. So I got much deeper into the burnout, and I actually managed. Normally people would be like, okay, I can't take this, and they just shut down. I slept 3.5 hours for, I think, day before yesterday, and yesterday again I slept 3.5 hours, and then last night now I slept 5.5 hours, which was very nice. And I'm still able to function. Most people can't do that, but since I'm able to observe what happens and just center myself, I'm able to do that. Which is nice in one way, but it also means that people might mistake you being there for you being okay, which it doesn't mean. So just being aware that don't push yourself too far, don't put yourself in the situation where you have to really, really pull yourself up. And it might seem like I have no choice. Yes, I thought so as well. But if I would have known how much damage my body would take from that, I wish I would have gone half a year earlier, if I would have known. And that's the difference between me now and then, is that I understand the symptoms. I know what happens, and I could feel that last week, okay, I'm getting closer to the edge where I'm just not able to handle this. And instead of forcing myself to go to work, forcing myself to solve all these things, forcing myself to fix the things around that needs to be fixed, just take a step back, calm down, and allow yourself to be human again. Allow yourself to just land. If you need to sit and watch movies, Netflix all day, do that. If you need to just lie in bed and not get up, do that. Sometimes we just need that step back to feel like humans again, to feel like you can function, because it's so rough when you fall down so hard, and it's much more difficult to get out of there. Other things that help is to not pull yourself away from the world outside too much, but actually keep contact with other people. Talking to people really helps. It's good to have someone to talk to, even if they don't need to help you. But just feeling another human being, having a conversation and sharing what you're going through, and like I'm doing now, it's therapeutical, and it's nice to not have to hold all of it into yourself. But there's also a sense of vulnerability and nakedness, or no, not naked is not the right word. Being exposed when you share something that is by many people considered a weakness. And the nice thing about that is that it creates closeness and intimacy with the people you talk to, because you're not trying to show an image, oh, look how strong I am, I'm always like this. But no, you're actually able to show, hey, look, I'm not feeling well now, I'm going through something difficult. And having people see that, not because, oh, please feel sorry for me and I want you to do that. That's something else. But when you talk to people and you're able to really be yourself, and that could be that you're feeling down, but it could also be that you're feeling amazing. And that can change. Like, you can go from feeling so tired and worn to then all of a sudden, like, oh, I feel okay now. That doesn't mean everything is okay, by the way, just because you happen to feel that for a few moments. So talking to people, taking a calm, having some kind of meditation practice, those things really help with the burnout. Eating, sleeping, if you can get your sleep in order, that's like the most important thing, because the body needs rest. What other things that I can come up with right now? Doing things you enjoy. Physical contact is really nice, meaning having like something called, is it oxytocin, I think? You get it when you cuddle with a baby, or when you're lying naked with someone and you hold them and you can feel their skin. It creates, they actually say when you have a baby, because the baby is naked and it's lying on your chest, that creates so much oxytocin and the body just goes warm. And I remember my physiotherapist was saying that there's nothing we can do about cortisol. There's like not really anything we can take. There actually are some things you can that help with it, but it's very difficult to lower the level of cortisol in your body. But one of the things that can is not cortisol, is oxytocin. And you get oxytocin by cuddling with your child, or cuddling with your partner, or just feeling warmth. A massage can do it. That warm, fuzzy feeling of, for me, I think of it as motherhood, because when we were giving birth to our children, they put a IV, I think it's called, yeah, and they give you oxytocin to increase the contractions to get the baby out. So that is actually something that can help with the cortisol, and it really counteracts that feeling like, because the body is in stress. The body has been stressed so long. Need to be attentive, need to be alert, need to be attentive. And that can happen, like I said, from lack of sleep. It can happen from stress. It can happen from traumatic events. There's all kinds of things that can create that stress. For me, like I said, it was extreme lack of sleep. But the oxytocin, this feeling like, ooh, I can still almost, like, thinking about it now. I remember when I held my son for the first time, this like little child, and you just, like that. And that really helps. Because that's what you need to do. You need to go, to release that stress, to come back to being you, to feel good. So watching movies I used to do that a lot, like romantic movies or comedies, to like make me feel that cuddly feeling. And I have a partner, of course, as well. So that's very nice to cuddle in the sofa and be close to someone. But the best thing is to just not get there in the beginning. I wish I could tell people to understand, like, just don't do it. It's not worth it. You think it is, and you think, I have no choice. But you don't understand that when you get really bad and you can't function, you can't open your dishwasher because it's too much anxiety from the burnout, doesn't matter. You can't go through that. I mean, someone who's really strong-willed might be able to push themselves, but the energy it takes to just do simple things will just make you fall and will make it even worse. So it's actually one of the things I wish that I would love to work at a like primary care here in Sweden and talk to people who are on the cusp of being burnt out, or are burnt out. But the problem is, if you want to do that, you need to have an education in sociology or socionom or psychology or something, and then there's it's a lot of educations. But yeah, I really feel strongly about that, and wish that people had more help, because it's very difficult to know what to do. Talking to other people who've gone through the same thing. Are you on the cusp of being burnt out, JVB, or have you been there, or just asking out of curiosity? Because having other people to talk to is a really nice way of sharing and seeing that you're not alone. You feel like a failure when you can't function. It feels like you're not... is it different from depression? Yes. They are different. There's a lot of similar things. I realize, as I said, I realize also I have ADHD. Like, I have traits of that. I'm actually going to do a, what do they call it? A test to see if I have ADHD, which I'm fairly certain I have. For me, everything is distortion, right? Everything is this feeling of, it doesn't feel nice. It's just a matter of how that shows itself. In a depression, usually that means that you're feeling down, you're feeling sad, you're feeling everything is difficult. There's a different feeling to the distortions that you have, and it can be very difficult to function because there's so much anxiety and worry and sadness. And not sad, like mostly anxiety, I think. And you can see those people, they just look completely defeated. In a burnout, there's more... I would say there's more of a physical reaction, but it has all the traits of a depression as well, absolutely, but it doesn't have to have that. I was burnt out, but I was rather positive, and I was functioning perfectly fine, except that I was so worn and my body couldn't handle the stress. So the burnout was the cortisol, that it wasn't broken down, that made my body feel like it was just in cramps the whole time. And my body was in stress the whole time. So when you come to the point where the body no longer can handle the stress, it just shuts down, which is different from being depressed, where everything is anxiety, but it just shuts down and your energy goes to like, I can't do anything. I have no energy to do anything, and it becomes incredibly difficult to take action because everything seems like an insurmountable challenge. It's just too much to do anything at all. I can't handle it. Do you meditate more when you get burned out? I'm not sure, actually. I mean, I have a daily practice. It goes in periods. When I was burnt out, yeah, I did meditate quite a lot. I think I did a little bit more. Not like insane amounts, but there's times also when like, okay, now I really want to get this in order. And one of the things that I forgot to say also is like your life around you. Like, it's not just about taking time off from work or slowing down, but it's also put the phone down. Like, you have no idea how much stress this is causing you. Oh my goodness. Take that away and don't use social media all the time. Don't choose a few things. This nourishes me. This is something I like, and do that, but like minimize it. Don't watch TV in the evenings. I had to, when I was really bad, I had to stop everything at like 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock. It took me that long to get to the point where I could fall asleep, because my body was so slow in calming down. The stress is basically like, imagine there's receptors that receive the stress hormones, right? And it's like, okay, you need to fight or flight, fight or flight. If you push them long enough, eventually they break. And they just feel, oh shit, everything is fight or flight. The world is going under, and there's like tigers and monsters everywhere. And I'm about to just be eaten alive, and everyone's going to die. Drama, kind of like catastrophe. And the body just gets stuck in that state. That's very different from depression. It's more of you're just completely worn out. Like there's no energy left. So it can be difficult to meditate because it's so uncomfortable, and you now have no energy to do that. For me, the advantage was that I had such a strongly established practice that I could actually do that. Because it's very easy for me to practice. I've done it so much that I just sit down, close my eyes, and I know I don't even have to try. I don't do anything. I don't feel like I meditate anymore. I just close my eyes and move my awareness a bit, but I don't feel like I'm having to do any kind of technique. If I feel like it's too much, I'm running around, then I do the counting up, the 1 to 8, 8 to 1. I do that one. I can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. Box breathing I can do if I wake up at night. I have a few techniques when I feel like it's overwhelming, but then it's just a matter of sitting, and it just takes care of itself. And I sit and like, okay, now it's done. And then I kind of go through a whole process with that. But until you have that established, which is why I want to make a course to help people, because you want to do that before shit hits the fan and things get bad, before you get to the point, because when that happens, then it's going to be very difficult to establish a practice, because you don't want to sit with those uncomfortable feelings, and you don't have the energy to establish a practice and to be able to do that. So it's better to do that when you're feeling good. If anything, people should focus on improving their mental health and lifestyle when they're feeling good, before they actually get to the point where they're feeling bad. Obviously, when they're feeling bad, they need to do it. What if we we minimize the amount of telephone use or TV we watch in the evenings? We minimize how many things we have around us at the same time to make it less stressful, so you don't get to that point. But it's a little bit taboo topic. Because people are ashamed to mention that it feels like you're failing, because you literally cannot handle things. You might not be able to go to the store and shop something because it's too much anxiety. You cannot handle the stress, because everything causes some level of stress. And when you're burned out, everything is insane amounts of stress. Yeah, it's not a fun state to be in. And the problem is, once you're broken, you will never be the same again. You can never be the same. I think that's the most difficult thing for people to accept, because they get burnt out and then they start feeling better and they go back to the way they were before. So it's just a matter of time before they get burnt out again, because you are not the same after burnout, and you never will be. And that doesn't mean you cannot do many of the things you did before, but you cannot live your life and have the same kind of internal or external rhythm that you had before, because you're not able to handle that anymore. Your body is literally broken, damaged. It's not the same. The nervous system is damaged. You can still learn how to work around that. You can still learn how to handle that and cope with it. But you always have to be aware a bit extra of, don't do too much. One example would be that I love working in the evenings. I love sitting, editing videos, or surfing, or writing something, or creating something in the evenings. But I cannot, because even though I have the energy to do that and think that's fun, if I do that, I'd be too worked up when I'm going to bed to actually fall back to sleep, because the stress from doing that, because like I said, there's always a level of stress, the excitement from doing that makes it so that I can't calm down and fall asleep. So I have to stop around 6 o'clock with doing things. Even though I have the energy, I could do it, I still stop, which is these evenings. Sometimes, if it wasn't for the fact that they actually make me very calm also, I would not do them because it would be too much. But having moved it half an hour earlier has really helped. That I feel the big difference from that. Cool. Don't get burned out, kids. It's a bad idea, a really bad idea. And if you have got burned out, be really kind to yourself and make sure you do something about it so you don't fall back in again. It really is not good for you. Okay, so today is Thursday, and we're actually going to do a technique that's very good for burnout, which is the box breathing. Box breathing is a way of, the breath is very tied into how the parasympathetic nervous system works, and how relaxed and calm you are. By intentionally directing our breath, we can create different states inside of us, and we can make our bodies feel different things. It's different from just learning and understanding what's happening inside of us, because this is a specific use case where we're doing a technique to calm ourselves down. That's not the main or only purpose of meditation, but it is a purpose of meditation. And I think this is one of the few actual breathing techniques that I do is box breathing. And the way that it works is you breathe in for 4, you hold your breath for 4, breathe out for 4, hold your breath for 4, breathe in for 4, hold your breath for 4, breathe out for 4, hold your breath for 4. And by doing this cycle, you're breaking you're changing how the body feels. Because if my daughter does this, when she gets angry, she'll go and then eventually she just kind of pops and gets like super angry, and I'm kind of like, just stop breathing like that. What are you doing? Like, come on, like, you're gonna get panic if you do that, which she gets. So she's making herself feel bad by intensifying her breathing. If I can distract her to not breathe like that, she does not have her explosive moments as much as she does sometimes. So understanding that your breathing is very tied into that can help. And by doing this technique, there's all kinds of research on this, and I honestly don't know exactly how it's tied together. There's other ways you can breathe also. We did coherence breathing, where you breathe in for 4 and out for 6, and all of these things have different effects on the body. Box breathing specifically is good for calming down and just becoming calm, which is very nice to do sometimes. So we'll do it together, and the way that we'll do it is that I'll have a recording. It's actually not a recording, it's an app. And it will make a sound. I will do the first few with you so you know when it's breathing in, breathing out. And then the timer will be running for 20 minutes. The breathing is for 7. So just do that for 7 minutes. Afterwards, just let go of that and just sit. You can do the breathing in and out for 8 counts if you want to, or you can just sit, observe what's happening inside of you. How are you feeling? And move your awareness around. And always, we're trying to move towards a state of enjoying being here. That's ultimately what it's about, like enjoying life, finding that happiness is not something that comes from what you do or what you have around you. It's something that really is an allowance aspect of it. You need to allow yourself to feel that. It's just that some people can allow themselves to feel good when they have nothing. Others cannot allow themselves to feel good when they have everything. It's not a matter of what you have or what you get. It's a matter of how easy you make it for yourself to feel good. And from the outside, that might seem like, oh, well, that's just like, what if I don't get the stuff I need to have? I'm not going to be so driven. No. But why do you need to be so driven? What is it you think you're going to get? Why would it change if you can actually choose to enjoy being here now without having all those things? Then you might go out and do those things, but you don't do them with the belief that I'm going to work really hard, push myself, push others, don't matter who I step on, I'm just going to get to that point, then I will allow myself to be happy. Or if you're happy now and you go there and like, oh, you know what? It was kind of nice walking this path and doing these things. I don't even need to step on people. It's quite nice to take them by the hand and bring them with me and have fun with them. It changes how you interact with the world. So, let's start. I'll ring the bell, start the recording, and then start the timer for 20 minutes. Breathing in, hold your breath, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. That was very nice. Happy we all came tonight. It's relaxing for me as well, and I needed the sitting with everyone. It's funny how it always feels different when you're sitting with other people, even if it's online. I hope you'll have a good end to the week, and I'm looking forward to Monday. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more aware or here on Monday, but I appreciate you coming, and have a good weekend. Thank you. You too, Nicole. Thank you.